Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the 3 p.m. show, where here we see the lives of students where they're not bound by books and the higher authority. Today's guest is quite a special one, as he is basically the head of the entertainment industry and is the known has all the know-hows in anything stage related. He is also related to some of our previous guests. So please welcome Byron Riley. Hey there, Byron.
Hi. Really flattering me on the entrance there.
I mean, to be fair, we do this for all the introduction of the guests. We always serve them with the utmost respect in a way.
Oh, how kind of you. How kind.
So, why don't you give me a quick introduction of yourself?
Alright. My name is Byron Rodley. I got the thing now. My name is Byron Rodley. I am 17. Last week you had Xavier on here, right?
2 weeks ago, actually.
2 weeks ago, Xavier was here. You guys have seen that. And he's my twin brother. Technically younger twin brother.
Yeah.
I, as you heard, do entertainment. I'm a prefect. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I'm in year 11. I'm a student.
Basically all that. So, yeah, I guess we can start now then. So, I guess we'll start off with the low-hanging fruit here. Is this entertainment thing, is this all from the family, or is it like a interest that you just had?
That's interesting. That's very interesting. Because it sort of is, sort of isn't. My dad does live broadcast, so he does sports games, he manages all the trucks, the cameras, etc.
Yeah.
And my mum works in TV editing, so it's more film-based stuff. And then, of course, Xavier has a big interest in tech.
Yeah.
My sister's different to all of us. She's her own person. And I guess it's a combination of both. A bit of interest from family stuff and a bit of interest because I just enjoyed doing it.
Like in this case, what makes you click? Like what do you love so much about the live stage and all that production stuff in real time?
Or if I knew I'd have a better... I don't know. It's
all the blue.
I think it's just how different it can be, because it always is changing what you're doing. It's moving around, but sometimes you're still. When you've got different setups, different things to work with, it's just always the same base knowledge but different conditions to work with. It makes it interesting every time you do it.
So you could say it's a variety in the entire time you're in that career. It'll be lots of variety, lots of unexpectancies, but it also forces you to become adaptable and flexible. Then.
Yes, precisely.
Well, that's pretty good, and yeah. All right, and now this is something that I already asked you before, and it's quite a while, but I think it's best I ask you again. Does that mean in the future, once you graduate from year 12 in this case, that will be the career you're pursuing, live production and all that?
Absolutely not. I really enjoy it, and it's something I would love to do, and I would love to do it as a side thing.
Yeah.
But I really want to do a course called Architectural Engineering. It's mainly an American thing. There are 2 unis that offer it in Australia. It's Architecture and Civil Engineering in one course. So technically you could do it with law if you were crazy. And that is what I'm passionate about, or that's what I think I'll be passionate about. It's what I think I'm going to enjoy doing. I enjoy entertainment, but I think that's going to be what I enjoy more. But we'll see.
Like in this case, what makes it different then? Like when at one point did you feel like, okay, I think I'm gonna choose architecture more over this live production stuff. Like what made you click that?
Interesting thing is, I liked architectural engineering before entertainment. Yes, so it's funny because there's a uni student in Canada. He runs a YouTube channel called Alpine. Can't remember if there's numbers after that. And basically, he's doing architectural engineering in Canada, and then he translates that into Minecraft. So, sure, he makes builds, it's all fun and games, but he also teaches the concepts behind it. Yeah. And that's what's interesting, because I've always had an interest in, especially bridges, but generally how engineering works, and by extension architecture. Then again, it's very hard to define engineering.
It's a big spectrum.
Very big, yep. But it's always been extremely interesting to me, and once again, like entertainment, there's a lot of variety in what you do, because there's designing, technical drawing, there's all the maths behind it, material science, all, it's just a lot, and I guess that variety is what interests me.
It's, so ideally, like in the future, it will be you becoming architecture. Would that mean that your entertainment side will be like a side gig, like a side hustle for you?
Yes, most definitely. As much as I am going to do architectural engineering, it's going to be the main thing,
That's gonna be the thing.
but I'm not going to drop entertainment, because in the sense of not high school drop, but in the sense of, drop it from my lifestyle, because it is something I enjoy a lot, and it's something I'll be around a lot, and I'm sure I'll be sticking around at Lane Cove Theatre Company for years to come.
Yeah. And to be fair, I'm glad you say that, because like I can't imagine you without that stage life. Like, what's Byron without all of the flashy lights and all the sound production? I don't know, probably just some nerd in engineering, and that's it. Yeah, like that's what I think, and I feel like it does make you unique. It makes you a one of a kind here in this in this class, in this entire school, actually, becoming like extremely knowledgeable on this live stage and stuff and all that. And that's basically what makes you stand out. You're like the Byron. What makes you the Byron? However, I also like incredibly respect that you don't follow it like blindly. Like, you know that you have other interests as well, and you don't compromise on that interest. So in that case, good job, Byron. You know what you want to do, and you go there.
Thank you.
All right. So someone else actually asked me, like, on the lines before this show starts, but what's your secret of being an old man? Like, how do you have the soul of an old man inside of a 17-year-old body?
Too much anime. No, honestly, I don't know. I think it's because I can do a thing where I have confidence in everything I say, even if I think it might be wrong. I can put out confidence to where people would trust me, and from there, well, who do you trust? You trust old people, mostly. And other than that, I think it's just because, I don't know, I have joint pain.
Really?
No, not officially, but I think, I don't know, maybe it's just the mixture of the things I do and the way I act. Everyone has quirks to how they act, and I suppose mine is the old man one.
Yeah, I mean that's true. I mean, and that's also a pretty good thing, because that opens up the area of old man acting. Like, you nailed it as Giles in the Crucible, you know? Like, it's like 1-to-1. That is absolutely how I'd imagine old white man to say. So yeah, so that's pretty good then. Now, there's another thing that a few weeks ago, I did ask Xavier about how he feels like living with you. Let's go with the other way around. So how do you feel living with Xavier here?
Yes. Yes, I do watch these interviews, and I saw Xavier's, and I thought, that's a pretty weak answer there. Holding back a bit.
Yeah.
It's the same as living with a brother in any other situation. I mean, sure, we're twins. The only thing that really changes is we're always the same age, so we're always at similar stages.
Yeah.
We've had our classic brother dynamic. A lot that comes to my mind right now is whatever the text we're studying in English is called, because you have their brotherly dynamic. But it's just same as most siblings, I suppose, if not slightly closer, because we are twins. We born at the same time. We have similar interests. He's very much into computer tech. I'm into stage tech.
Yeah.
But I guess the similarities is what brings us together.
Wow. I guess brotherly dynamics just never die off, even if it's twins. Yeah. This is a personal thing. This is completely off script here, but you with Jeremy, how did you guys meet? And essentially, is he particularly supportive of your architecture stuff as well?
You should start asking more personal questions. These are interesting ones. Yes. So last year, for those who don't know, which is pretty much everyone, I started doing entertainment at the start of year 10, because at the end of year 9, we were performing in the hall. Miss Gill was there, Patrick was there, Melissa was there, because it was drama performance, and they were doing the sound and lighting. I was like, wow, that's cool. What if I talk to Miss Gill? And I did. And she was like, sure, yes, you can join us. We need someone who does drama and who would be interested in this. And at the time, it was just sound and lighting team. There was no course.
Just one team.
Yep. So I did that for a while. And because I have the ability, which most people don't have, which is to read a manual,
Yeah.
and also because I was overly engrossed in doing it.
Yeah, the manual's your Bible.
Manual's the Bible.
Bad.
Yeah, that's right. I got very invested into it. And then my sister did something which I don't do, which she was actually socially active, and she saw a poster for a performance called Constellations that was being put on at around this time, around October, September, at Lanco Theatre Company, and they needed help with tech. So she decided to go. She was there for 2 weeks, or three weeks, and then Constellations ended. In those 3 weeks, I had been nagging her to tell me all the details about the tech. What are they using?
Yeah.
And then I asked, well, they use the same console as we have in the hall. So in the hall, we have a Maxim Large, they had a Maxim Medium.
Yeah, the same ones.
And I was like, cool, I'll be there. So after it ended, Constellations, they immediately had another 2-week run. Yeah, 2-week run of something called In a Nutshell, which is where they grab some HSC, some other drama students from uni, and they get to perform their pieces. Yeah, that's right. It's really nice. They're doing it next year as well. And I just came along one night, and I met Jeremy. To be honest, I didn't really remember his name at first because I'm bad with names.
Oh, yeah.
And I looked at the desk. Someone said, hey, we want coloured lighting for this. And Eswell was like, I'm not sure if I can do that. I was like, I can. And I set it up in about 2 minutes. And Jeremy looked at me and said, wow, you're really good at this. And that's how it started. That's how we got to know each other. So I did Lanco Theatre Company. He saw a lot of potential in me, and I saw a lot of potential in myself because I like blowing my own horn.
Yeah.
And it just sort of built up from there. And that's where I really started getting to learn more because I'd learned how the hall basically sort of worked.
Yeah.
But from there, it was just skyrocketing, learning everything.
Yeah.
And since then, Jeremy and I, of course, we know each other. He's over at my house every so often because, for those who don't know, don't tell anybody, he's dating my sister. I'm sure it's public.
Whoa,
oldest,
really?
yeah,
That's so cool.
oldest sister, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's crazy.
he also, of course, he did engineering studies when he was at the school, and he gave me a copy of the engineering book that we use, one of our textbooks.
Yeah.
The copy in particular being from 1980s, 70s, which his dad used when no, that's a lie. His dad didn't use it. It was, I mean, he did, but he used a different copy.
Yeah.
It's a copy which has been passed down to different engineering students,
Yeah.
and now I've got my hands on it.
And it's now you. You are the
now me.
successor.
Yep. So we're both engineering nerds, and we're both sound and lighting nerds. Though he was more drawn to mining technology, and I'm more drawn to civil engineering and architecture.
That makes sense.
Well, there's your very long answer.
All right then. That's very insightful. Now, I think I would like to end this off with the final question. That's also a bit off script here, and that would be regarding the entertainment industry as the subject. Because I'm also in your class, and I'll just say first as I'm so glad you're in that class because essentially you're our teacher. You are essentially the one teaching most of us regarding our stuff, with the motivations and all the tiny intricacies. And sure, maybe it's not unofficial, but I like to think of it that you're essentially, especially with your mature old man energy, that we're all just like little children and we're listening to you talk about all the tiny computer stuff. So yeah, basically, how do you feel about that class?
I wouldn't say little children. After all, I'm not Patrick. Yes. Gotta be very careful what I say here because.
Don't worry, if it doesn't feel right, I can just cut this off.
Yeah, don't worry. It's just because it's school business, especially something like this, which is being scrutinized at the moment. You didn't hear that from me though.
Yeah.
I like the concept of being able to teach people. It's not something I do as a profession, maybe, but being able to teach people I think is a great privilege, and you should really strive to do it well, because seeing people develop and learn is a really brilliant experience. So when it started this year, I was hopeful. I've lost that hope now. That's not because of the course content. That's because of another factor. Yep. But I don't know. I just decided, okay, well, I can help. I know this stuff. I can help teach it, and I've had fun doing it, and I'm not going to stop doing it. As you know, I've now got Skip Mort, such a funny name, his book going around.
Oh,
Yes, so
that book, yeah.
yep, and I will actually at some point bother writing up information. I just need time. Yeah.
Dedication.
No, I say things, I don't actually do them. That's the problem.
No.
But I guess it's the mix of the passion for entertainment and the passion for seeing people grow and develop, which is what's led me into this. And yes, being an old man helps. I just need a less of a condescending tone when I'm teaching. But yeah.
Well, it's great then, and I guess that's also one of the core reasons you're one of the part of SRC and also captain. And by the way, also, I'm sorry you didn't get into captain position. I've kind of heard, but
yes.
yeah.
How many minutes ago? It's only been like 30 minutes, guys.
Yeah, like bad news. Still fresh, still fresh.
I'm still a prefect.
Yeah.
I'm happy in that position. I can still run for things like not school. I keep trying to say school.
Yeah.
SRC captain or something like that.
Yeah.
There's so many opportunities. Even for those without a leadership position, there's still more opportunities. Could look back at Jeremy when he was at our school.
Yeah.
When we were in year 7, or I was in year 7. He went with the SRC captain, Jono, and they popped into one of Mr. J's classes, and they said, "Hey, sir, we need to do some maintenance on the assembly for audio system for the assembly."
Yeah.
Because back then we had the quad,
Yeah.
and it had its own little audio system in a little box.
Right, that one, yeah.
And he grabbed Mr. J's keys and he unlocked it. Obviously,
Yeah.
they weren't actually doing maintenance though. What they did is they got
Oh.
a Raspberry Pi, which is a little computer for those who don't know,
Ah,
and they had it
yeah,
on a
computer.
timer, and they plugged it in.
Yeah.
Now, this was because Year 12s were very angry at Mr. Osland at the time, because he had cancelled their muck-up day.
Oh.
So what? They were all on an excursion that Monday,
Yeah.
and there was supposed to be their muck-up day. And they had set the timer, so during the Monday assembly, at some point during it,
Yeah.
it would just cut the audio and then start playing Never Gonna Give You Up. Now,
It's the one big rickroll.
yeah, but it gets even better. Coincidentally, I'll take it from you. Coincidentally, this happens. The rickroll starts right when Mr. Osland is giving a speech about responsibility. So, and everyone assumes they're dismissed. They assume they've done like bell music or something. So everyone just gets up and leaves midway through his speech, and they can't stop it. No one knows how to do it.
Yeah,
So they grab Jeremy and Jono, two of the most trusted students of that year, and they pull them back to school. They get driven back by one of the teachers.
Yeah.
And they sit down, head teachers, Osland, two most trusted students, and they're like, "What the hell do we do now?"
Like, what is this?
Yep, and that's why I'm not allowed to play Never If You Up in Mr. Osland's presence.
Yes, it's now taboo. You can say thanks to Jeremy and Jonah for that.
Yep, and you better believe I'm going to do something even more spectacular when I'm in Year 12 for my muck-up day.
And yeah, that's essentially that I've got for today. Do you want to perhaps say something to the audience right there?
Sure. Well, thank you guys for listening. Make sure to like and follow. It's not YouTube, is it? So there's no subscribe. Subscribe anyway. Find a way to do it.
Do it.
Yeah. No, thank you for listening. Thank you for having me.
Nah, don't
And
worry.
you've complimented me a couple times throughout this, so thank you very much. It's been a
You're
pleasure.
basically one of the when I first started the concept of the show, you were essentially the top of that list. Like, all right, if this is gonna end early, it needs to have you first, because you know.
It's very sweet of you. Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, Byron Rowley, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Woohoo! Yeah, I don't know, up to you. But yeah, that's all that we got for today. Tune in for next week. Well, we also have a pretty interesting guest. Until then, see ya.